The Galactic Council pissed themselves in terror when the humans unveiled their secret fleet, making it clear that the Council's pathetic attempts to control Earth would be met with annihilation. Captain James Adams stood ramrod straight on the bridge of the UES Indomitable. He stared out the viewport at the massive Andromedan warship that had just jumped into the solar system. Its arrival was unwelcome, unexpected. 10 times larger than anything Earth had, it made James's blood boil. The Andromedans, a species of purple-skinned, silver-eyed aliens, had spent a decade forcing the Milky Way under their boot. Earth was the last independent world left, the last bastion of freedom against their tyrannical Galactic Council. Adams and the United Earth Defense Force were all that stood in the way of humanity's enslavement. A transmission blinked on the comm display. The Andromedan leader, High Counselor Primus himself, was requesting permission to come aboard the Indomitable, to deliver an ultimatum to Earth. Adams clenched his fists until his knuckles cracked. He had strict orders to allow the slug on board, to hear what self-important drivel spewed from its purple lips before he kicked its ass back to Andromeda. He didn't like it, but he was a soldier. He followed orders. "Permission granted," Adams forced through gritted teeth. "Security team to the shuttle bay." He had a bad feeling in his gut. Like the fate of the human race would be decided in the next few hours. By the time this arrogant alien set foot on Earth's soil, the future of humanity would either be freedom or extinction under the Andromedan boot. The moment Captain James Adams stepped foot on the UEDF headquarters, he rushed to report the Andromedan ultimatum. The news hit the top brass like a shockwave. In mere minutes, an emergency holo-conference was arranged, gathering Earth's most influential leaders and military minds. Adams found himself standing in a dimly lit room, surrounded by holograms of stern-faced men and women. They hung on his every word as he recounted the chilling encounter with High Counselor Primus. "And that's the gist of it," Adams finished, his voice rough with exhaustion. "The Andromedans mean to attack, and soon. We need a plan." General Marcus Graves, a grizzled veteran, with a face like weathered stone, spoke up. "Our fleet's no pushover, but the Andromedans have us outgunned and outnumbered. We've run the simulations. It'll be a slaughter." Murmurs of unease rippled through the room. Adams felt a knot tighten in his gut. They couldn't just roll over and let the Andromedans win. There had to be another way. Graves cleared his throat. "There might be something, a game-changer." He paused as if wrestling with a weighty decision. "For the past decade we've been working on a covert project, codename Shadow Guard." Adams leaned forward, his interest piqued. Covert projects were nothing new in the UEDF, but the way Graves spoke of this one felt different. Shadow Guard is a fleet of advanced warships, built in secret shipyards hidden in the asteroid belt, ships like nothing the galaxy's ever seen, Phantom-class stealth frigates that can slip past any sensor grid, Wraith-class heavy destroyers packing enough firepower to gut a battlecruiser, and the crown jewel, the Spectre-class battlecruiser, a monster of a ship designed to go toe-to-toe with the best the Andromedans have. The room buzzed with excited whispers. A secret fleet, a hidden ace up Earth's sleeve. It was almost too good to be true. But not everyone was convinced. Admiral Singh, a shrewd strategist known for her caution, spoke up. "If we reveal the Shadow Guard now, we lose the element of surprise. The Andromedans will adapt their tactics. We should keep the fleet hidden, use it to strike when they least expect it." Others argued for using the Shadow Guard as a deterrent, a show of force to make the Andromedans think twice about attacking. Adams listened to the debate rage back and forth. This wasn't a choice to be made lightly. The very future of humanity hung in the balance. "Sir," he said, locking eyes with Graves, "I believe our best chance is to keep the Shadow Guard under wraps. When the Andromedans come, we let them think they have the upper hand. Then, when the time is right, we hit them with everything we've got. They'll never see it coming." Graves nodded slowly. "Agreed. We mobilize the main fleet, make it look like that's all we have. The Shadow Guard will wait in the wings, ready to strike at our command." The decision made, the meeting adjourned. Adams felt a flicker of hope amid the looming darkness. The Andromedans were in for one hell of a surprise. Light years away, in the heart of the Andromedan Empire, High Counselor Primus stood before the Galactic Council. The Grand Chamber was a cacophony of clicking mandibles, hissing tongues, and whirring servos as the various alien races that made up the Council reacted to Primus's report. The humans refused to submit, Primus declared, his purple face twisted in a sneer. They cling to their delusions of independence, even in the face of our might. We must make an example of them. Show the galaxy the price of defiance. The insectoid Clorax chittered in agreement, their compound eyes glinting with malice. The reptilian saurians hissed their approval, forked tongues flicking out to taste the air. Even the normally stoic Zorgons, more machine than flesh, nodded their cybernetic heads. We will crush the humans swiftly and without mercy, Primus continued. Amass the fleets, ready the armies. Earth will learn the folly of standing against the Andromedan Empire. As the Council dispersed to make preparations for war, Primus allowed himself a small smile. Soon, very soon, the last bastion of resistance would fall, and the galaxy would be his to rule. On Earth, Adam stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, watching as the UEDF fleet assembled. Ships of every size and configuration, from nimble fighters to lumbering dreadnoughts, filled the view screen. It was an impressive sight, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. But Adams knew it was only half the picture. Out there, hidden among the stars, the Shadow Guard lay in wait, humanity's secret weapon, ready to strike when the enemy least expected it. The fate of Earth, of the entire human race, would be decided in the coming battle, and Adams would be damned if he let the Andromedans win. He turned to his crew, his eyes hard with resolve. Battle stations, he ordered. The Andromedans want a war. Let's give them one they'll never forget. The alarms blared through the halls of the UEDF headquarters as Captain James Adams marched into the command center. The holographic displays showed a grim picture. The combined might of the Andromedan and Galactic Council fleets had entered the solar system, their ships appearing as angry red dots against the black backdrop of space. Adams stepped up to the central console, his eyes scanning the tactical readouts. "What's our status?" General Graves turned to face him, his expression grave. "The enemy fleet is closing in fast. We've mobilized our main fleet to intercept them, but we're outnumbered and outgunned." Adams nodded, his jaw set with determination. "I'll take command of the task force. We'll buy Earth the time it needs to prepare its defenses." He strode out of the command center, his mind already racing with strategies and battle plans. Within the hour, he stood on the bridge of the UES Indomitable, the sleek warship humming with power beneath his feet. "All ships, this is Captain Adams," he said, his voice carrying over the comm. "Our mission is to engage the enemy vanguard and disrupt their advance. We may be facing superior numbers, but we have the element of surprise on our side. Let's show these bastards what humanity is made of." A chorus of affirmatives echoed back, and Adams felt a surge of pride. These were the best and bravest Earth had to offer, and he was honored to lead them into battle. As the task force approached the Andromedan vanguard, Adams gave the order to attack. The human ships struck like lightning, their advanced weapons cutting through the enemy's shields and armor. The Andromedans reeled, caught off guard by the ferocity of the assault. The battle raged, the void of space lit up by the flashes of weapons fire and the blooms of exploding ships. Adams gripped the armrests of his command chair, his eyes never leaving the tactical display. They were holding their own, but the sheer numbers of the enemy were starting to take their toll. Suddenly a coded message flashed across his screen. It was from General Graves, marked with the highest level of classification. Adams quickly decrypted it, his eyes widening as he read the contents. The Shadow Guard fleet had been deployed. The secret weapons Earth had been developing in hidden shipyards were on their way to support the main fleet. But there was more. Graves had included a set of coordinates leading to a research facility in the Kuiper Belt, with orders for Adams to rendezvous with the Shadow Guard there. Adams felt a thrill of excitement mixed with trepidation. If the Shadow Guard was as powerful as he had heard whispers of, it could turn the tide of the battle. But what awaited him at the research facility? He gave the order for the Indomitable to break off from the main engagement and set a course for the coordinates. As the ship slipped away from the battle, Adams couldn't shake the feeling that he was heading towards something that would change the course of the war, and perhaps the fate of humanity itself. The Indomitable emerged from warp space, the dark expanse of the Kuiper Belt stretching out before them. Adams leaned forward in his seat, scanning the viewport for any sign of the research facility. "There," his sensor officer said, pointing to a cluster of readings on her display, a large structure hidden among the ice and rock. Adams nodded. "Take us in, helmsman, nice and steady." As they approached, the facility came into view, a sprawling complex of domes and spires, its matte black surface blending almost seamlessly with the darkness of space. Adams felt a chill run down his spine. Whatever secrets this place held, they were well guarded. The Indomitable docked, and Adams led a small team onto the station. They were greeted by a woman in a white lab coat, her dark hair pulled back into a severe bun. "Captain Adams," she said, extending a hand. "Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell, welcome to Project Prometheus." Adams shook her hand, noting the firm grip and the keen intelligence in her eyes. "Doctor, I was told you have something to show me." Blackwell nodded, a hint of excitement creeping into her voice. "Indeed, please follow me." She led them through the winding corridors of the facility, past labs and workshops buzzing with activity. Scientists and engineers looked up as they passed, their expressions a mix of curiosity and awe. Finally, they reached a large circular room dominated by a central holographic display. Blackwell stepped up to the controls, her fingers flying over the keys. "What you are about to see, Captain, is the culmination of years of research and development, a quantum leap in artificial intelligence technology." The display flickered to life, and Adams found himself staring at a complex web of data and algorithms, swirling and pulsing with an almost organic rhythm. "Meet Prometheus," Blackwell said, her voice hushed with reverence. "The most advanced AI ever created, designed specifically to integrate with the Shadow Guard fleet and enhance its combat capabilities to a level never before seen." Adams stepped closer, his eyes widening as he took in the sheer complexity of the AI. "How does it work?" "Prometheus can process and analyze vast amounts of data in real time, adapting to changing battlefield conditions and coordinating the fleet with unparalleled efficiency. It can predict enemy movements, identify weaknesses, and devise optimal strategies faster than any human mind." Blackwell turned to face Adams, her expression grave. "Captain, with Prometheus on our side, the Shadow Guard will be a force to be reckoned with. It could be the key to winning this war." Adams nodded slowly, the weight of the revelation settling on his shoulders. "How soon can it be integrated with the fleet?" "The process has already begun. As we speak, Prometheus is being uploaded into the Shadow Guard ship's systems. By the time they arrive here, they will be ready for battle." Adams felt a surge of hope, tempered by the knowledge of the challenges ahead. "Then let's not waste any more time. We have a war to win." As the Shadow Guard fleet arrived at the facility, Adams stood on the observation deck, watching the sleek black ships slide into formation. They moved with a fluidity and precision that spoke of the AI's influence, each vessel perfectly synchronized with the others. Adams took a deep breath, feeling the weight of command settling on his shoulders. With the combined might of the main fleet and the Shadow Guard at his disposal, he knew they had a fighting chance against the Andromedan and Galactic Council forces. But even as he prepared to lead the fleet back into battle, his thoughts turned to Earth. The planet was under siege, its defenses being put to the ultimate test. He could only hope that the brave men and women of the UEDF ground forces, led by Colonel Rafael Escobar, could hold the line until the fleet arrived. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and Adams knew that every decision he made from this point forward could tip the scales one way or the other, but he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to fight with every ounce of his being to defend his home and his people. As the fleet set out towards Earth, Adams stood tall on the bridge of the Indomitable, his eyes fixed on the stars ahead. The battle for Earth had begun, and he would not rest until victory was theirs. The Shadow Guard fleet, now infused with the power of the Prometheus AI, moved through space with a newfound sense of purpose. Captain James Adams stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. The enemy fleet, a combination of Andromedan and Galactic Council ships, loomed ahead, their weapons primed and ready. Adams gave the order, "Launch the counterattack." The AI-controlled ships sprang into action, their movements precise and coordinated. The Phantom-class stealth frigates, now virtually undetectable, slipped past the enemy's sensors and infiltrated their formations. They struck like ghosts, their weapons finding critical weak points and sowing chaos among the alien ships. The Wraith-class heavy destroyers and Spectre-class battlecruisers followed close behind, their advanced weaponry unleashing a barrage of fire upon the Andromedan dreadnoughts and Galactic Council warships. The enemy ships shuddered under the onslaught, their shields flickering and failing. On the bridge of the Xanadu, High Counselor Primus watched in disbelief as the tide of the battle turned against him. The sudden appearance of the Shadow Guard fleet and the humans' newfound tactical advantage caught him completely off guard. "Impossible," he muttered, his purple skin paling. How could they have hidden such a fleet? Primus realized that he had greatly underestimated the humans. Their resolve to defend their homeworld, combined with their advanced technology, made them a formidable foe. He had to act quickly, or risk losing everything. "Concentrate all fire on the Indomitable," Primus ordered. "Take out their flagship and break their morale." The Andromedan fleet responded, their weapons locking onto the Indomitable. A barrage of energy beams and missiles streaked towards the human flagship, threatening to overwhelm its defenses. But the Prometheus AI was already calculating countermeasures. It directed the Spectre-class battlecruisers to form a defensive perimeter around the Indomitable, their advanced shields absorbing the brunt of the Andromedan assault. Adams watched as the Shadow Guard ships protected his flagship, allowing him to continue coordinating the human fleet. "Keep pushing forward," he ordered. "We've got them on the ropes." On the surface of Earth, Colonel Rafael Escobar and his ground forces were making significant progress against the Andromedan and Galactic Council invaders. The human soldiers, armed with advanced weapons and utilizing cutting-edge tactics, outmaneuvered and outfought the alien ground troops. As news of the Shadow Guard fleet's success spread, the morale of Earth's defenders soared. They fought with renewed vigor, determined to protect their homeworld at all costs. In the midst of the chaos, the Galactic Council members began to question their allegiance to the Andromedans. The Klurax, Saurians, and Zorgans, witnessing the humans' resilience and the power of the Shadow Guard fleet, started to doubt the wisdom of attacking Earth. "This is madness," hissed the Saurian representative. "We're losing ships faster than we can replace them." The Klurax chittered in agreement. "Perhaps it is time to reconsider our position. The humans are proving to be more formidable than we anticipated." Secretly, the council members communicated with one another, weighing the possibility of withdrawing their forces and seeking a truce with the humans. As the battle raged on, the fate of Earth and the balance of power in the galaxy hung in the balance. Captain Adams, the Shadow Guard fleet, and the Prometheus AI continued to push back against the Andromedan onslaught, while High Counselor Primus grew increasingly desperate to secure victory at any cost. The Indomitable shuddered as another volley of enemy fire impacted against its shields. Adams gripped the armrests of his command chair, his knuckles turning white. "Hold steady," he urged his crew. "We're not giving up. Not now, not ever." The Indomitable shook violently as another barrage of enemy fire slammed into its shields. Sparks flew from overloaded consoles, and the acrid smell of burnt circuitry filled the air. Captain James Adams gripped the armrests of his command chair, his eyes locked on the tactical display. "Prometheus, what's the status of the enemy fleet?" he barked. The AI's calm, synthesized voice responded, "Andromedan and Galactic Council forces are weakening, Captain. Their formations are breaking, and their ships are sustaining critical damage." Adams allowed himself a small, grim smile. The Shadow Guard fleet, guided by Prometheus's unparalleled strategic insights, was turning the tide of the battle. The AI anticipated every enemy move, directing the human ships to exploit vulnerabilities and deliver devastating blows. On the bridge of the Xanadu, High Counselor Primus slammed his fist against the console, his purple face contorted with rage. "All ships, launch a full-scale assault on Earth," he snarled. "Overwhelm their defenses. Force the humans to their knees." The Andromedan fleet surged forward, a desperate, coordinated attack aimed at breaking through the Shadow Guard's lines and striking at the heart of humanity's resistance. Suddenly, the comm channels erupted with chatter as the Kilrax, Saurians, and Zorgans announced their withdrawal from the battle. Their ships peeled away from the Andromedan formation, leaving Primus's forces exposed and vulnerable. "Traitors," Primus roared, his eyes blazing with fury. "You will pay for this betrayal." But his threats fell on deaf ears as his former allies disappeared into the void, seeking to distance themselves from the failing Andromedan cause. The Shadow Guard fleet pressed its advantage, the Prometheus AI guiding their ships in a relentless assault on the weakened Andromedan fleet. The Phantom-class stealth frigates darted through the enemy's ranks, striking critical systems and sowing chaos, while the Wraith-class heavy destroyers and Spectre-class battlecruisers unleashed devastating volleys of advanced weaponry. Primus, consumed by desperation and anger, made a final fateful decision. "Helm, set a collision course for the Indomitable," he growled. "We'll take that damned human flagship down with us." The Xanadu surged forward, its massive bulk aimed directly at the Indomitable's heart. Adams's eyes widened as he realized Primus's intent. "All hands, brace for impact!" he shouted, his voice barely audible over the blaring alarms. The two ships collided with a sickening crunch of metal, the Indomitable's hull breached, and its bridge exposed to the unforgiving vacuum of space. Emergency force fields flickered to life, holding the atmosphere in place, but Adams knew they wouldn't last long. "Captain, you must evacuate," Prometheus urged, its voice tinged with concern. "The ship's structural integrity is failing." Adams shook his head, a resolute expression on his face. "No, Prometheus, I need to ensure you're safely transferred to another ship. The fleet needs you to finish this fight." He turned to his crew, his eyes filled with a mixture of pride and sorrow. "It's been an honor serving with you all. Now get to the escape pods. That's an order." As the bridge crew reluctantly filed out, Adams turned his attention to the transfer process, his fingers flying over the console. The ship shuddered and groaned around him, the force fields flickering dangerously. With a final keystroke, the transfer was complete. Prometheus was safe, ready to guide the Shadow Guard fleet to victory. Adams smiled, a sense of peace washing over him. "Prometheus, initiate the Indomitable's self-destruct sequence. Let's take the Xanadu with us." "Acknowledged, Captain. It has been an honor." Adams closed his eyes, his final thoughts of Earth, of the brave men and women fighting for its survival. "The honor was mine," he whispered. A blinding flash of light filled the void as the Indomitable and the Xanadu vanished in a cataclysmic explosion, marking a turning point in the battle for Earth's fate. The remaining Andromedan forces, leaderless and demoralized, began to surrender or flee, their will to fight shattered by the loss of their flagship and their leader. On the surface of Earth, Colonel Rafael Escobar and his ground forces emerged victorious, the last pockets of alien resistance crumbling before their determined advance. The cities lay in ruins, the scars of war etched into the planet's surface, but Earth was free, its people unbowed and unbroken. In the aftermath of the battle, the Shadow Guard fleet limped back to Earth, its ships battered but proud. They had achieved the impossible, but the cost had been high. The loss of Captain James Adams weighed heavily on every heart, his sacrifice a testament to the unwavering courage and determination of humanity's defenders. As the Galactic Council struggled to redefine itself in the wake of the Andromedans' defeat, Earth stood tall, a beacon of hope and resilience in a galaxy forever changed by the crucible of war. The Prometheus AI, a symbol of Earth's indomitable spirit, would guide the planet's reconstruction and shape its future as a force to be reckoned with on the galactic stage. The war was over, but the story of Earth's rise had only just begun, a story that would echo through the ages, forever enshrining the memory of Captain James Adams and the heroes who fought and died to defend their home. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.